This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
An explosion at the Trans Niger Pipeline in Bodo Community in Gokana local government area of Rivers State has led to the shutting down of operations at the facilities. Now, while authorities have yet to determine the main cause of the explosion, 2 people have been arrested in connection with the incident. The Trans Niger Pipeline is a key part of the exportation network taking crude from Bayelsa through Rivers State to the Bonny Export Terminal. Joining me in the conversation is oil and gas expert Ayodele Oni. Mr. Oni, good morning and thank you for joining us on the conversation.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Let's jump right into the impact that an explosion on this pipeline has for Nigeria's drive for increased crude oil production.
Okay. The challenge is that it does about 450,000 barrels per day. That's the Trans Niger Pipeline. It moves it to the Bonny Export Terminal, and that then becomes a problem. Recall that our budgetary benchmark is 2,060,000 barrels per day, right? So first, from an income standpoint, it becomes a problem. From an ability to continue to meet and even surpass our OPEC quota, then becomes a challenge, right? And also contracts that have been entered, obligations that exist then are suspended due to what they may come a force majeure. So it's not a good thing, to be honest. And to consider that it happened twice within a short period may suggest not just an accident, right? May suggest sabotage. I don't know a fact, right, but it's not good news.
So in terms of the security of this particular pipeline, you've mentioned that this is the second time that it's essentially been disrupted. Shouldn't we have had enough time between the first occurrence and this one to beef up security around such an important pipeline?
Yeah, I think part of the challenge is that the new owners, Renaissance, are just taking over, right? So having just taken over, you're still analyzing, assessing things. I know that there should have been an interim period where both parties will be looking at all the issues and exchanging personnel and all of that, but we never know. I agree with you that immediate action should have been taken, but we probably don't have all the facts to know that was or wasn't done. And it may not have been at the same point, right? And recall also that there is a company already engaged prior to now. I don't remember their name now. There's a company already engaged. They're supposed to be guarding this particular pipeline and a number of them. So I'm not sure what exactly happened, whether they weren't doing their job or whether, you can't be 25%, 4%, 100% at your best, right? So maybe they look for a period when they weren't at their best. I really don't know, but it's not good.
So let's go back. Let's come back to the impact on the oil and gas sector. Outside of disrupting, essentially, that's 450,000 barrels per day.
Yes.
What's the overall picture in terms of the ripple effects for Nigeria's economy?
Okay, so it means reduced revenue. Like I stated, recall our OPEC quota is 1.5 million barrels per day, if I'm not mistaken. And we're doing slightly over that. So if we took 450,000 barrels out of that, it means we go back to the years where we're struggling with even meeting quota. We're slightly above quota, about around the quota, At some point, we're doing 1,570,000. At one point, it was 1,004,000 for something, right? So if we then take 400K out, 450K out, we're barely doing 1 million barrels a day. And that's news. So, it then means that the budgetary, we need to maybe then borrow more. If all of these are not taken care of and it continues to escalate, it then means we need to borrow. Remember that even for the price, I think the budgetary benchmark is around $75 per barrel. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So it's not 75 anymore, it's up 70. Two, you then also struggle with numbers. You then just make nonsense of your budget.
Right.
Particularly if it lasts longer than it should. It begins to last a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, then that's a percentage of, or a reasonable percentage of a year, of 12 months. So overall, then we need to borrow. It may even affect the dollar naira exchange rate and weaken the naira too, because those are export commodities, and export means you will generate forex. If it not generate forex, then naira is going to be under pressure.
All right. So can you give us a sense, if you have that idea, of how long it would take to repair this pipeline and perhaps secure it against a repeat of such incidents?
In my experience, it could be as long as, depending on the extent of damage, it could be as long as 4 weeks, 6 weeks.
All right.
Could be that long, depending on the extent of damage, right? And the sort of materials we need. In some cases, some of these things cannot easily be gotten over the counter. So, yeah.
Well, Mr. Oni, thank you very much for your time and expertise on this conversation. Ayodele Oni is an oil and gas expert who joined us this morning to speak on an explosion at the Trans Niger Pipeline in Bodo Community in Gokana local government area of Rivers State.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.